Yeah, we just checking to make sure that you all can hear us properly.
Okay.
Linford, if you're a little away from the mic, too far away.
We too far away?
No, I meant Linford.
Oh, okay. All right.
Coach, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So when you were sitting back, you can't hear you clearly.
Welcome. All right, so sit forward and project when you're speaking.
All right, so it looks like we're
I'm
good to let the
gonna do it for
yeah, so that.
everybody. We can get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Checking to see if most persons here can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. All right, good afternoon, media partners. Thank you for joining us. My name is Randy Howard, the Public Relations and Media Manager for Cricket West Indies. With me here in the conference room, I have with me the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Linford Imberary, and our Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom. And also, obviously, on the call, we have Head Coach Darren Sammy and the newly appointed Test Captain, Roston Chase. Now, just to set a few parameters for today's proceedings, we're going to start off with a few comments. I will ask that the person on the call, please mute your mic when you're not speaking. Thank you very much. That's the first thing that we would ask. All media, please mute your mic when you're not speaking. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Secondly, I'm going to start the proceedings with a few comments from our panelists, starting with Mr. Bascom, proceeding to Head Coach Sammy, and then ending off with the Captain, Roston Chase. Once we get through that, we're going to invite each of you, or those of you who have questions, please raise your hand to allow us to identify the persons who have questions to pose. And then after that, once we identify you, please be asked that you identify the media house who you're representing, your name, and if you wouldn't mind turning your camera on and then posing your questions, and then the relevant individual or the person who posed the question to will provide a response. So at this stage, I would just like to start by handing over to our Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom, to make a few brief opening remarks.
Good afternoon, all. Welcome. As most of you are aware, the process of selecting a West Indies Test captain, it's a very important one. The role is a very high-profile role in the context of West Indies cricket. And we embarked this time on probably the most comprehensive process that we've ever had in terms of identifying someone for this role. So this process included psychometric evaluations. That is after a number of players were shortlisted. So they underwent psychometric evaluations, and then a very robust interview process that was used to then do a final assessment across a set of weighted criteria that eventually gave to us our recommendations for captain and vice captain. I'm quite happy with this process. It was time consuming. However, I think it was quite necessary, both to give the candidates the best chance, of representing themselves. The panel that did the interviews would have included myself, the head coach, and the chair of our cricket and officiating committee, Director Enoch Lewis. And while each of us had some knowledge of the candidates in question, it was quite important for us. None of us knew anybody to a great extent, right? Well, none of us knew everybody to a great extent. So we knew some players better than others. And so this process really gave us the opportunity to, get some more insight about each of the candidates. In the end, we are quite happy with the outcomes. The candidate that came out on top of our evaluation process was recommended as captain, and the next in line was recommended as vice captain. And of course, that was then approved by the board. So overall, we're quite happy. I mean, there are some learnings that would come out of this process. The need for some more evaluation of captains across our regional tournaments, just as a means of establishing a data bank. We have spoken about moving towards a more data-driven selection system, but I think broader than that, on a whole as an organization, I think that we are moving towards, really using data across the length and breadth of the organization. So this, I think, is in keeping with that thrust. And as I said, I am very happy with the process that was undertaken, and certainly happy with the outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bascom. Just a quick note again for those persons who would have joined while the director was speaking. Just a reminder to all persons on the call, media partners, please keep your mic muted until we get to the question and answer segment. And at that point, we would invite persons to raise their hands to indicate if they do have a question to pose. And once they are identified, we would ask that they identify themselves by name, as well as the media house that they're representing before posing that question. Now we'd like to move on to our comments from our head coach, Mr. Darren Sammy. Coach.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, I think it is to you guys in the Caribbean, and to all the guys who are online as well. I just want to, just touch on some of the things the director said when it comes to, selecting the man right there to my right. Maybe you all might think he's to my left, but Mr. Chase, the manner in which he got to the position as being West Indies test captain, I truly enjoy the process that was followed, and just looking at the direction that we want to go in test cricket, the things that we want to achieve, and how we gonna go about doing it. The vision, I have for the team, the vision that, the director sees for the team as well, and the personnel and the roles that will be required for us to achieve it. So that process brought us to the man right here, Roston. And just being with Roston over the last 4 years, whether in all capacity, whether it be T20s, from at the St. Lucia Kings, or also, just even back in the West Indies team, the leadership that is shown, in the dressing room and on the field, the attention to details, at the end of the process, it showed why, he's been vice captain to a few of our teams at different periods. So I'm quite happy with what the process gave us. And I know, as challenging as the road is ahead, I know I have a soldier who, is calm under pressure, who's, also tactically sound. And I'm looking forward to working with him. And as it comes to our first assignment, it will be both our first assignments in his hometown in Barbados, and we are quite looking forward to that. So again, the director pointed out, probably, I've been part of West Indies cricket for the last 22 years, and just hearing how things been done, I think this would probably be the first time we undergo something like that. And it is also a learning process for us, just in creating and building and developing leaders. Some of the things that we'll have to put in place for a smooth succession when one of our leaders either move on or we trying to move on from someone. For us in the test arena, it was not a clear-cut, appointment, and hence it brought us to that stage. So with that said, I think we've started something that in the future, and the things that we'll put in place would be allow for a smoother transition in West Indies leadership. So I want to welcome Roston into that position, and I'm looking really forward to working with him on some of the things that he could do and bring to the table from a leadership standpoint that could impact on the game of us winning.
Thank you, Coach. And I won't take too long to pass you over to Roston for a few opening remarks. Let us know how you feel about this new appointment.
Yeah, firstly, good evening to everyone on the call. Obviously, it's a privilege and an honor to be taking up this new role as the West Indies captain. It's a very prestigious job. You know how many greats have took up this role and mantle before and paved the way for guys like me to continue this journey. I think it's something that I never really thought about being a young man coming into West Indies cricket. I always just wanted to play cricket for the West Indies and do well. But after Darren called me and asked me about taking up the role, if I would be interested, it was a bit shocking at first, seeing that I was, out of the test arena for a couple of years. But I told him it's something that I would think about, and I sat down and I thought about it for about a week. I had conversation with my dad as well, who's really been the driving force of my cricketing career, and he told me that it's not an easy job, but firstly, test cricket in the whole is not a easy task. So he said not to really worry about the pressures and stuff, that he know that I usually handle pressure very well. And throughout my cricketing career, I had some hard challenges before me, and I've always dealt with them well. So he think that I would be suitable for the job. So after that week, I got back to Darren and told him, yes, I'll be interested. And then obviously with the test and stuff, I went through that, and then I had my interview, and I thought that everything went well. But yes, it's a journey that I'm really looking forward to. I mean, Test cricket has always been my first love, although for the past couple of years, I've been really focusing on my white ball career. But Test cricket was always my first love growing up, watching the likes of Brian Lara, and at that time, Ramnaresh Sarawan was my favorite player. So it's something that I really look forward to do. And as Sammy said, my first game is going to be in Barbados, God's Spring. So I really love playing cricket at Kensington Oval. So I think that would be a bit more comfortable for me playing my first game at home in front of my family and my friends. Yeah, it's also going to be my 50th test, which is a good milestone for me. I always had planned on coming back and playing test cricket. I didn't think it was going to be so quick. So, but as I said, getting to 50 test matches is always something that I thought about before even making my debut. So it's going to be a great milestone for me, and I will cherish it in my heart even after the years to come. So I really look forward to leading the guys. I mean, the guys usually look up to me in the dressing room, and I usually have a big role in terms of encouraging and giving them knowledge of the game and stuff. So I just think that it's just for me and Coach Sammy to come up with the right tactics and strategies in terms of going forward with the cricket and the brand of cricket that we want to play once we sit down and discuss these things and look at the direction we want to take the cricket in. It's just for me to get the guys all going in the same direction. And I just want the guys to have fun as well. I think playing at this level, if you're not having fun, if you put yourself under too much pressure and think about the outcomes rather than just enjoying the journey and the process, I think you run yourself in trouble. So it's just for the guys to, you know what I mean, go out there and face the challenge with open arms and just try to enjoy the cricket and back the skills and stuff. And I think that, I mean, it's going to be tough. We're coming up against Australia, but cricket is played on the day and on the field. So it's just for us to go out there and work hard and stick to the basics and to the process that we might come up with. And I think that we'll be okay in the end. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Captain and Coach. Now, before we go into the Q&A portion, I just want to remind our media partners that we will ask persons to raise their hands. Once you're identified as the next person to pose a question, please unmute your mic. If you can also, please turn on your camera so we will be able to see who's posing the question. Let us know what media host you're representing, your name, and then please proceed with posing the question and they'll be answered accordingly. We'll first begin with Mr. Philip Spooner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for having me. Appreciate this opportunity. Well, Miles, Darren, and Roston have said quite a bit about the Test cricket, so I'll jump right into the Ireland tour. Roston, you are a key member of the white ball setup. You've done pretty well. So parking the Test captaincy to the side, how do you see things in Ireland starting on Wednesday from your point of view as an all-rounder, and obviously as someone who will now support Shea? And then Darren, in the press release, it said that Shea had declined the opportunity to be auditioned for the Test captaincy. Can you tell us a little bit of what he told you, why he wants to focus primarily on the white ball captaincy? Obviously, you know he's got two leadership roles, T20 and ODI. Thanks.
Yeah, firstly, I'm hoping for some good weather. I mean, it's a bit cold at the moment. Today was quite a cold day, but I'm just hoping for some good weather so we can feel a bit more comfortable or feel a little more at home in the conditions. But I mean, I came here in 2019 where we had a tri-series against Bangladesh and Ireland. And despite the weather, I thought the guys really adapted well and played some good cricket in that series. So just looking forward to that. In terms of my role as an all-rounder in the team, I mean, for the past couple series, I've been doing more bowling than batting, but I'm a guy that I'm just happy to be playing cricket. So whatever role is set up for me in this series, I'll be happy to do. I just look forward to playing some good cricket with the guys, and hopefully we can come out on top. And hopefully, for myself, I can get some good performances with bat and ball, and hopefully in the field, seeing that I'm one of the better fielders in the side, and Darren always challenged me on my feelings, so I'm looking forward to the challenge.
To answer your question, Philip, obviously she has been, one of the leaders for us, but you have to understand, the mental challenges that comes with captaining the West Indies team. And, I respected the conversation that we had. I respected the way he felt about leadership. And and again, my mother always say, everything in life happens for a great reason. So hopefully Roston is the great reason that comes out of all of this. And she will continue to be a leader, just like I challenge, all my guys. Not everybody could be captain, but everybody could be leaders in their own way. And hopefully we could start building a team with genuine leaders. But in the end of the day, I think Roston is here now, and it's a few things. It's my job to support him as best as possible. It's our job to support him as best as possible. And I remember probably some 16 years ago, I was in Roston's position, you know, young player, probably played 9 test matches and was asked to captain. Roston comes with much more experience than I did. However, I would love to, you know, wish for all our fans to understand and the vision and be patient, because one thing we will not do is hang our hats way higher than our head. You know, we have to be realistic as to what we intend to do, how we're going to do it. And once we identify the process, we start going to work and some of the things that we've done. And so be patient with us. I did ask for that some 16 years ago when I was captain. So I'll ask for that for Roston. Be patient in the roles and the brand that we looking to put out there, so that we could get the results. But most of all, I wish for success to Roston and the patience of our fans whilst we try to take this journey to being a better test team.
Thanks very much. I didn't realize it was 16 years already, but all the best. Have a good
Thank you
start.
so much.
Have a good
Happy
start in
belated.
Caribbean. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Philip. We move on now to Akeem Green.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I have, before I ask my first question, I think I just get a quick clarification so I can know how to structure it. Is it that Roston would have finished #1 and then he got captaincy and then Jamal Rory Khan was #2 as such, then he got vice captaincy? I'm just trying to get a clarification from Miles based on what he was explaining earlier before you asked the 2 questions.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so I just was on the first question, either from Miles or Coach Sammy. I understand, you know, you use a metric to select the captain, vice captain. I was just wondering, from a practical standpoint, whether any consideration was given to probably put someone a bit younger in terms of the vice captain role to groom them for the future, if that was a consideration in the discussions about the selection of the vice captain aspect. And my second question is to Roston. Roston, I guess given where West Indies lie in the rankings and I guess some of the indifferent performances in Test cricket, I just want to get from you why you know, you really wanted to come back and take up that kind of role, given it's an unforgiving one at times, given something what happens with the team, and I guess does it go with your name, crisis man, as well? Probably thinking that you can able to, I guess, turn around the West Indies performances in Test cricket.
Okay, so in terms of the vice captain, as we said, we talked about the integrity of the process one, and so the persons who came out first and second, you know, we felt were the best fit for both roles. It was about starting with the person who is in the strongest position at this point and helping them to grow in the role going forward. And similarly, we wanted to start with the strongest possible next person as their support, right? To ensure that, you know, we have a quality think tank working along with the head coach and his team management staff. Now, that is not to say that we have not, you know, we are not thinking about succession. A couple of the younger players that were in our shortlist and went through the process, we have identified to continue working with them in terms of their development as leaders. So through A teams, opportunities for captaincy will be they will get those as part of their leadership development, as well as more direct training, which is something that we have not we have not done in the past and has to be a part of a wider leadership training program that we are currently in the process of developing. So the idea is that we have our strongest two candidates as captain and vice captain. And in terms of a succession plan, we will focus on the younger candidates and provide them developmental opportunities as part of other programs.
Yeah, Akeem, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of calling me the crisis man. I'm always a guy for a crisis. But as I said, Test cricket was always my first love. And then, as I said earlier, I always was thinking about coming back and playing my 50th Test. So I thought about it, and I know it's going to be challenging, but as I said, my life was always a challenging one in terms of my cricketing career. So I look forward to facing the challenge. And I mean, we already close to the bottom, so the only way we can go from there is up. And something that really encouraged me to looking back at the T20 side when I first came into it with Rodman Powell taking up the mantle as the captain. We were in a similar position, and he found a way to lead the guys into coming up to, I think, number 3 or number 4 in the world. So it just shows that anything is possible once you believe and have a positive attitude in whatever you're doing. So that's just the road that I'm looking to go down as well. So I've just had a positive outlook about it and was ready to accept the challenge. So that's why I really took the job.
Thank you, guys. Now we will move on to Mr. Ian Wasson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations, Mr. Chase, for your elevation as the West Indies captain. Now, I have 2 questions, one to Chase and one to either Mr. Bascom or Darren Sammy. And the first one to Chase, you mentioned while you were speaking before that you haven't been in the team for a year and a half. And was that a major concern for you not being into the team? I'm not sure if it's because of your choice or you were not able to make the team, but to come from not being into the team and to being the captain of the team, how difficult that could be, given the fact that you were not around this particular team, or because of your familiarity with the players in your white ball teams, if that would be made easier. And the other question, will Alzari Joseph be considered for any leadership role in the future, given the fact the former vice captain, his outbursts against She-Hope last year, if that was some kind of punishment, or he was taken, the vice captaincy was taken away from him, or if he will be continue to be in quote unquote punished, or will he be given any consideration for any leadership role in the future?
Yeah, for me, being away from the Test arena for a couple of years, it was after being dropped, obviously, it was then a personal choice of mine to then really focus on my white ball career. So I was mainly in the T20 and the 50 over. So I was really concentrating on that. And before Sammy was appointed the coach, the then coach, Andre Coley, had spoken to me about coming back, but I told him that I wasn't ready as yet because, as I said, I was focusing on getting myself out there in the white ball arena in terms of playing some franchise cricket and stuff. And I had a shot at it last year and this year. But I don't think it's a problem for me joining back the team because I've been playing cricket for probably 15 years in the first class arena. So a lot of these guys know me. We play first class cricket, we play Super 50. So they're accustomed being around. I mean, as I said earlier, they have a lot of respect for me. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem with me coming back and rubbing shoulders with them. And I just look forward to leading them now. I mean, I never was in a leading role with some of the guys. I mean, I captain some of the guys probably around 2018 in an A team, and I had a earlier stint last year also with the A team going to Nepal. So being a leader for me, sometimes it comes a bit natural for me. So I just look forward to coming back with the guys that I grew up playing with and leading them now.
Yes,
Great,
and yes, in terms of Alzari, I mean, Alzari is, one of our most prominent players, has been identified as a leader previously. So certainly we will continue to look at him and look at his growth, and he will definitely be one of those persons who will be looked at in terms of succession planning going forward.
Just to continue on what the director said, Floyd Reefer always says something, to have a great captain, you need some good deputies. And in that, he means the rest of the guys. And that's why we stress on the word leadership and not captain. And I think Alzari has been a leader in the dressing room, a leader in the bowling attack. And I don't think for you to say, quote, punished, there's no punishment left for Alzari. I think the disciplinary action was taken. He served that, and you've seen over from the England series up to Bangladesh series and stuff like that. He's been, doing his job. So it's all about us, building leaders. And if we want leaders now to change into captains, we are better equipped to do that.
Great, thank you so much.
Just a reminder that when you are posing your question, we would appreciate if you also let us know which media host you're representing. And with that said, we will move on to Junior Codlin.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Junior Codlin. I represent the West Indies Cricket Development Academy media arm. Congratulations to head coach Darren Sammy of the Test team, and also to Roston Chase, our new Test captain. My first question will be to our Director of Cricket, Mr. Miles Bascom. How concerned are you by the recent leaks? Because we as media houses and Caribbean fans and people learned about our Test captain long before we have gotten it from the official channels. Are you concerned about these leaks and the detriment to West Indies cricket in the long term?
Ideally, of course, we love, to have gone through the process and be able to announce formally for the first time what our position was. However, it's difficult. I mean, in as much as there was information out there, ahead of any formal approval by the board, it's hard to tell whether there was an actual leak or whether it was someone's hypothesis, that was being propagated as fact. So, without being able to tell specifically, that there was a leak, there was no way for anyone to know ahead of the board making its, giving its rubber stamp effectively. And I mean, ideally, as I said, you want to be able to formally announce your information. But as I said, it's part of, I guess it's part of how we are. It tells us about the interest that people have in West Indies cricket still, and the interest that was had in the outcome of this process. So it doesn't worry me too much. What I'm happy about is that we had a process that was clear and robust, And, that for me is the most important aspect.
Thank you. Coach Sammy, 7 test match, 7 high-profile test match. It will be fair after to define how far you have taken this team. But what's your expectation? I heard you alluded earlier to not hanging your hat too high, but reasonable expectation when I speak to you in December.
I think it's 8 of them, if I'm right. We got 3 against Australia, 3 against New Zealand, and 2 against India. So I think it's 8. So more pressure still, So, but yeah, when I made my statement, I love staying in the present, being honest, being realistic, but also having a plan. And one of the things we've been able to do when we took over from white ball cricket, we always said home should be our fortress. Taking little steps. Winning at home should be of optimum importance. And I think in both white balls, T20s and ODIs, we've made our fans at home really happy over the last 24 or 2 years, 24 months or 2 years in winning series at home. Australia, probably #1 team, but the roles that we have identified and the manner in which we could be successful. I want to give my guys a chance to do that. And our efforts should not be questioned because we are looking to win. When we leave home, when the bell rings, whatever we do is get towards winning. Now we'll be entering our test championship that takes us to, I think, 2027. One of the goals I've outlined to the director is putting us in a place where we could actually win the 2029 test championships. To me, that is something that is realistic. However, over the next, we have those 8 test matches to December, is creating an environment where we could, all the roles that we have identified, we could actually go and execute those roles with the personnel that we're going to have on board. And I believe as a group, if we do that and we do that well, we will be impacting on winning both home and away. And that's where my focus is. And that's where our drive will be. Whatever we have to do to win test matches.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Director of Cricket and Head Coach Darren Sammy. Congratulations again, Roston Chase. No further question.
Thank you, Junior.
And now we'll move on to Gerard Morris Seeley.
Yes. Good afternoon. Hope I'm being heard clearly. Yeah, okay. First, congratulations to Roston. I have 2 questions, but I'll ask them one after the other.
Gerard, if you don't mind, let us know what media house you're representing, please.
Sorry, I'm representing Sports Max TV.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miles, first question for you. Just who were the cricketers that you had interviewed? I know that we've heard speculations out there. There's a report out there of who those players were, but just to get confirmation straight from Cricket West Indies, who were those players that were interviewed?
We had, of course, Roston Chase, Jamel Warrican. We also had Tevin Imlach and Joshua De Silva, along with Justin Graves and
John Campbell.
young Campbell. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, were these players, these choices, solely on Cricket West Indies, or did Coach Sammy suggest players that he would have thought would have been the best people for the role? Probably should ask Coach Sammy that question directly.
Well, since you asked me, I'll take it. But collectively, we looked at, a wider group, as we mentioned. Shea Hope was also somebody who we looked at as well. And I mean, each of those players, have exhibited strengths in one area of assessment or the other. And we thought that 6 was a large enough group to go through the type of process that we wanted to get through in terms of narrowing that down to a captain and a vice captain, which while still having a good assessment of options in there for future leadership roles and succession planning.
All right, thanks. Question for Roston now. You're taking over this team at a very difficult time in West Indies cricket, just like Sammy would have done when he took over as Test captain a few years ago. I've heard, of course, Coach Sammy said that he is aiming to be able to win this Test championship by 2029. But just as you look at this upcoming cycle, which starts with Australia coming, what's your mindset? What are you trying to achieve? And how are you looking to lift the morale in the dressing room?
Well, as Sammy said, as a player, as a cricketer, once you step on the field, you're always trying your best to win games. But for me, it's about the process, trusting the process, whatever the plans and the tactics have been put in place, trying to carry out that to the best of your ability. And for me, it's just for the guys to go out there and show the effort and show the determination and that grit that Test cricket requires for you to excel. So I'm just looking for that. Once the guys go out there and give their all and try their best and play some proper cricket, whatever the results may be at the end of the day, I'll be happy with that. Once the guys are moving together and gelling together and working together to achieve one goal, that's all I can ask for. We can't sit and study the outcome. We have to look at the process in terms of getting to that outcome. And once the guys are following that and giving it their all, whatever happens at the end of the day, I'm happy with.
All right, thanks. No further questions.
Thank you, Junior. Sorry, Gerard. Next person we have in the list there is an account called Cricket Forum. Please let us know your name.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Carlton Brown from the Cricket Forum, the Caribbean #1 cricket channel. To Mr. Miles Bascom, we look at what the media release said about how the 6 persons were shortlisted, and you have Test experience, leadership qualities, captaincy credentials, and you said the final recommendation was based on weighted scoring system across 6 key areas: leadership, respect within the team, cricket knowledge, personal conduct, media and communication skills, and psychometric evaluation. Why wasn't performance in Test cricket included among those criteria?
Well, as I said, initially, as part of the shortlisting process, we considered performance in Test cricket. So I think that was accounted for. What we really wanted to get beyond that was a sense of what each candidate brings as a leader, and how well they are going to be able to implement a lot of the plans that we have going forward in Test cricket. Additionally, I think that you mentioned respect of the team. I don't know if that is what you got from team standing, but the team standing component speaks to their ability, also speaks to their ability to command the place in the team, which their performance in Test cricket has a huge bearing on whether or not they're able to command the place in the team.
Thank you. That's all I have to ask.
All right, so we move on to Joel Bailey.
Hi, good day. You all hear me?
Yes, we are.
Okay, hi, good day. Hope all is well. I have a few questions to ask, but I'll stick with two for now. If I am allowed some more questions later on, and see how that goes. First thing first, 6 individuals were interviewed for the Test captaincy, but there wasn't a group of 6 players interviewed for the T20 captaincy. Indeed, one myself said to wonder if the T20 captain was, in Darren Sammy's mind, she hopes alone, and perhaps she hopes decline the Test captaincy. Therefore, 6 players were shortlisted to see who may take over the Test captaincy. Is that the case? Because I find it weird that we didn't have a group of 6 players for the T20 captaincy when Robert McCall was fired. That's the first question. And the second question, and that first question could go either to Darren Sammy or to Miles Bascom. The second question, and I'm sorry that Kishore Shalwa is not part of the thing here, but we would be playing Australia in June in a 3-test series with a captain who has never coached a first-class team and a coach who has never coached a first-class team. How was that going to help West Indies' reputation as a formidable Test nation? Thanks so much, and any other questions I'll ask later.
Director, you want me to answer?
Go ahead.
I think, look, having been part of that T20 team for the last 20 months, I think I would have enough knowledge of the players that are in the dressing room and to be in a position to make a clear and sound decision on the next step forward. Second question, I mean, we all got to start somewhere. I am a firm believer in what I bring into this dressing room as a coach, as a leader, and I'm pretty sure Roston is a very confident man in the way he plays cricket. You know, when I became the coach, a lot of people said those same things, but I think what we've been able to do as a team speaks for itself in the white ball format. And I truly believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And right now at this moment is being the head coach of the West Indies Test team as well. And with the belief I have in myself, the processes that I follow, the staff that I have around me, the players that we will identify to play the roles, I believe we all could have an impact on the game in Test cricket. So I've never been one really to listen to outside noise or whatever it is. Once I have a clear vision as to what is required for us to do, I put my head down with my team and my men, and I go out there and we do it. And I turn up every day. I don't ask anything from my men that I don't ask from myself. It's an honest day's work. We prepare the way we want to go out and play, and hopefully when the bell rings, we execute. And Australia is going to be that first for me and Roston. And by the time that comes, I believe we'll be in a position to compete and impact the game on winning. Again, we do understand the challenges. When I took on this or accepted this role, like any role I've accepted throughout my career, whether it be playing for West Indies, captaining the West Indies, becoming coach, I always see the challenge. But I'm always one who see challenges as a moment to conquer, a moment to inspire and give direction. I think that's what we as a group we'll be looking to do. So the experience I've gained as a leader playing cricket over the years, captaining, understanding the data that is in front of us, and trusting the process that is needed to win. We're gonna apply that to every series, and that includes Australia as well. And I will not be in a job that I think I'm not capable of doing. You could add to that if you want, Director, but I think I answered it for you.
I think you did as well.
Mr. Watson, you're back with us again. Please identify your media host this time. I don't think we got that last time.
We didn't get that last time. Sorry about that. Ian Wilson, CNC3 in Trinidad. Now, this one is directed to Sammy because Sammy is the one with the headache right now. I'm saying headache because given the 6 who were interviewed, does this give an indication how the team will look? Because we were not going to appoint a captain who can't make the team. So are we going to see a return of Campbell opening? Can we see either Da Silva or Imlak playing as a batsman? And even more headache with the bowlers, because if we can explain which one of the fast bowlers you are going to drop between Roach Alzari, Seal, Shamar Joseph. Well, tell me about your headache.
Mr. Watson, you're a very smart guy. Thank you for the question. You posed a very challenging question to me. But again, you know, what I always say is, if I have a headache as a coach based on people performing, it's a very good headache. I'll take an Advil or Panadol or ask Dr. Bayam to give me something to pass that headache, but it's a good headache to have. And I mean, we must not forget some of the good things. I mean, yes, it was in patches, but a test series draw, a test match win in Australia was something that never happened. That should have been believed. Just the last test match we played in Pakistan, winning something we've not done for so many years. So we've had a little glimpse of when we do things right that we know we could actually compete and win. So I'm really excited with the journey that is coming. You know, the roles that we've identified. And I mean, let me just take you guys into some of the processes that we do or we undertake in order to bring game plans. I'm pretty sure we in Ireland now, Avinash, who's our analyst, he will probably be busy at work, but the amount of data that is collected and the in-depth analysis and strategy that is needed, when all that goes through, the conversations I have with the talent IDs, with the director, the lead, the senior talent ID, and when we all meet and we talk and we discuss about how we want to do things, the roles, when Avinash look at the top 4 teams in the world, both their first class season and their test team, what they do in the different positions that allows them to be successful in all conditions. And we mirror that to what we've been doing, both first class and as a test team. And we pinpoint areas and roles that is needed in different positions in order for us to be successful. And we start that journey, and now, once we identify the roles, we now identify the players in order that could help fit those roles for us. Then the process starts and the journey begins. And it's something we did in ODI cricket, we did in T20 cricket, and we've seen the fruits that is being is bearing. The guidance we gave in Super 50, you know, with bonus points, forcing little games within the games and letting guys, you know, execute different roles at different times. We just had the breakout T20, you know, in a quest to get leg spinners or left arm spinners. We put measures in place to help develop. So when we do all these things, when we turn up to a game, it's not because we're not prepared. It's because we've done our homework. And then, like I said, it's about executing on that day. And I'm really excited for the testing that we have a situation and an opportunity in front of us to have some impact from what Andre Coley and his men started and Craig Brathwaite, myself and Roston at the leadership at the helm, with the staff and the players to develop a brand that could be successful and impact the region's testimony winning. And to answer your question, you will have to wait when the director says we could announce the team for you to see. But you're right. Not everybody could make the team, but we outlined so many different scenarios where we could see all these guys having an impact. And the director said it. Everybody comes in with an area that myself, the team psychologist, whoever would have to impact and help along the way. And that person now is Roston, and I'm looking forward to what we could do and the squad that is being selected.
And the last question, you did say that Shehope declined the captaincy, but did he decline being on the test team once more?
No, I don't think. Yeah, let me get that right. He didn't decline the captaincy because we were still gonna have a process of selecting a test captain. So to say he declined the captaincy is not really right. He declined an opportunity to captain. I would understand, having been someone who captained the team in all three formats, the pressures that come with it, with the job and everything. And I think for Shea's mental state and what he wants to do, he just became the new captain. He's not even captain deciding a game in the T20. So I understand the reasoning why he would want to focus more on the more direct roles that he has now, and think about an opportunity if presented to play Test cricket. He wouldn't want to come back to Test cricket with that thing having leading the white ball teams, and to come in a system where he's not been there for a while and still have to lead again with on top of the jobs that he had. So I do understand why he would decline an opportunity to possibly lead a test team. Everyone is available for selection. The director has said that from early, we play our first class cricket and everybody is available. So yeah, I could tell you she has indicated that he does want to play Test cricket as well. So that's as far as I could give you.
Thank you so much, and that's good news. Thanks.
Mr. Colin Benjamin.
Coach Man, Director of Cricket. Afternoon, everyone. I'm late, so 2 quick questions for Coach. During the
Mr.
recent
Benjamin, if you don't mind identifying your media house, please. Thank you.
My bad. Television, Radio Jamaica Sports. Yeah, Coach Sammy. During the 4-day season, outside of our new Test captain Roston, guys like Shea, Kyle Mayers, Jason played some games before either going to the PSL or after they came back from T20 duty. I'm just curious, given that a lot of these guys did not play 4-day cricket for a couple of years, were you directly involved in encouraging them to play a couple of games before they went off to T20 duty?
I wouldn't say directly involved, but I mean, when we talk about processes and having a vision as to how would you want your testing to go in terms of roles, you've identified that needs to be played for you to be successful. I would have had words with Roston. I would have had, some of the guys' agents would have reached out to me as to what is required as the test coach, the new test coach to, to earn selection and stuff like that. And one of the things that we said was I communicated was, take part in our 4-day championship. Give it some thought, give it some time. And it's always better when you have all the premier players playing in our local competition, and that was good to see this season.
Thanks, Coach, and for Director Cricket, Mr. Bascom. I've seen reports in the last 48 hours that Jason Holder is going to be involved in a Major League T20 team. I just want to confirm, has Cricket West Indies got an official NOC request for Holder to play in MLC? And has Cricket West Indies also received any requests from the GSL about Moti playing as he did last year as well?
Up to this point, we have not received an NSC request for either of those individuals, neither Jason nor Moti.
Thanks.
Mr. Spooner.
Mr. Howard, thank you again. Just a quick one for Miles. We haven't heard a word on the A team. I reported that Andrea Coley is the head coach, and I also reported a squad of 14. Then with Blades pulling out, and now we're at 13. I know they practiced yesterday. I know this due to practice today. Can you tell us the squad, because we want to know for planning purposes? And then Darren, a little bit on Chase filling that batting role with Rutherford and Shepherd absent, because I am more keen right now to find out what's happening in the white ball cricket than the red ball, which is a month and a half away. So, Miles, can you tell us the 18 and the preparation over the next 48 hours? And then Darren, a little bit on what you're doing in Ireland this week.
All right. In terms of the A team, it should be out before by in the next hour's time.
Well, it's out already.
So
it's out already, but we want to know a bit about the planning and the preparation with Andre as the head coach. Can you tell us a little bit about how that's going?
Is it out officially, Spoons? Is it out until CWI puts it out?
Well, it's not a hypothesis, as you said earlier. I mean, we know the squad, the guys practice, and we saw them, but not mean to be facetious. Give us a little bit more insight on the tour, your thoughts, and how you see them developing over the next couple of weeks, because this is a very crucial part of our development. I'm not trying to be facetious in any way.
No, I know, man. It's okay. So yes, our 50 over squad is on the ground. Presently going through the paces, preparing to play that first game, I think on Wednesday. The 4-day component of that series will be used both for exposing some players who have performed well over the course of the championship, but more so for fine-tuning, getting some guys who would be in contention for the test series, seeing them in some competitive cricket. As you know, our West Indies championship finished around mid-April. So many of them have not had, highly competitive cricket since then. So we are trying to strike that balance between, giving some guys opportunities who have performed well during the championship, as well as ensuring that, the persons in consideration for the test team, get some good, high quality competition ahead of what could potentially be a very intense series against Australia.
Could we possibly expect to see Warwick captain and then the 4 days? Obviously as a test vice captain, because he's not in Ireland.
Say that again, sorry?
I was just wondering about the possibility of Warwick Can being the A-team captain for the 4 days, considering he's not in Ireland, and him being the test VP.
You would only have to wait 1 hour for all of that information.
Oh, okay, thanks. And Darren, a little bit on Chase moving up probably to 4 or 5, considering Rutherford is absent.
Is you want to move up to 4 or 5?
I'm willing to do anything for the team.
Oh, thank you. Philip, look, the core of our ODI team, the roles that has been established. If you look at our last ODI series, we had King and Evan with Casey Carty at 3, the captain at 4, and Rutherford at 5, and then we had Django, the debutant, at 6. So Roston was at 7. So it looked with Chauffin and Shepherd out. We'll still need someone to fill out that all around the road. We're quite fortunate. If you look at who's in the squad, Roston plays that role, whether he brings the spin option. We have Justin Greaves, who also plays that role. And we have a young budding all-rounder again, who had a really good first-class season in Matthew Ford, who is going to be, I see a really bright future for him in an all-rounder role. The way he moves that new ball and comes in and bat at a number 7, 8 position, looking to climb up. So we do have enough candidates to play that all-rounder role. We do have an exciting, young Joel Andrew. And oh my God, the way he's been batting in difficult conditions there, Roston Chase and all the other guys challenging him every net session. He looks ready, so we are not lacking in roles. And I would like to stress that point. When we select teams, we select roles first. We identify roles first. So a situation like that, when a person is not available, the personnel may change, but the role remains the same. So we have covered all bases, and we are looking forward to Wednesday. We are in the home conditions, but the preparation we've been having, and just the morale in the team, the way I watch them prepare, the guys look ready. They know what they're about. They understand the role that is required, and I must commend them. The some of the things we've done in ODI cricket over the last year or so. We keep improving, and the guys are heading in the right direction. And remember, everything in ODI cricket is geared towards winning 2027 and getting automatic qualifications. And right now we are number 9, 1 point again behind England, and 7 or 6 points behind Afghanistan, who's at 7. So every single ODI is of utmost importance moving forward. So we are in the business of looking to win games, and as many games as we can. That's what we will try to do on this UK tour.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Spoons.
Philip, I'm Joe Bailey.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. That's good. I realized that the first question I asked wasn't answered, which I understand. But I will something else I need to get here. The situation with the captaincy issue. We have of the 6 who were shortlisted. We had Joshua De Silva, who was the captain.
Joel, can you slow down, please? Because of your quality,
okay, no problem.
We need to slow down a bit. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right. So of the 6 who were shortlisted, we had Joshua De Silva, who was the captain of the last three West Indies A teams. That was home and away to Bangladesh as well as the South Africa. And we have Kevin Imlach, who was the captain of the victorious Guyana team of the Regional 4-Day Championship, right? But the thing is now we have a captain and a vice captain who, with all due respect, are lacking in captaincy experience in first-class cricket. I noticed that Darren Sammy repeatedly talks about roles. So are we going to a situation now where captains will be selected based on their roles as captains alone or their roles as captains and / players? Because with all due respect, Roston Chase batting average and bowling average and Jomal Warrican's bowling average doesn't really inspire confidence. So are they being selected primarily as leaders and then you have players fitting in various roles, or you're picking teams based on player capabilities first and foremost? Thanks so much.
All right, Darren, let me take this on, Darren.
Okay. I was ready, but go ahead.
I know you're ready, man. In terms of the person shortlisted, we mentioned that each of them, had their particular strengths that got them into that shortlist, right? And the overall assessment process that we did factored all of these things into the equation, right? So while we might say Roston Chase doesn't have experience as a first-class captain, but he has been vice captain to a West Indies test team before. He is a experienced test player of 49 test matches. So it's a multifaceted assessment, different criteria, but taking into consideration all of these factors that you are raising. Right. So we are quite happy, as I said, with the process first and foremost, and being happy with the process makes it a lot easier to be satisfied with the output from the process. All right. So again, our assessment criteria factored in all of these factors that you're making mention of. And still, the two individuals, were the ones recommended coming out of that process with the strongest scores.
Thank you. And we're going to have two more questions. First, we're going to go to Junior Codlin, sorry.
Yes, good afternoon again. To Mr. Chase, because I didn't get to ask you the question. As the director of cricket pointed out rightfully, the maybe rather in New Zealand, you were the vice captain of the test team. And when we were getting ready to go to Bangladesh, you declined. And so Craig Brathwaite had to come back up because you replaced him as vice captain the time. So maybe you would have been the one that now relinquished the captaincy, but you are now at the start of your captaincy. So fate has done you well. But Mr. Chase, do you understand the job at hand that you have alluded to earlier, that you would have sacrificed your red ball game because you were dropped for white ball cricket? But now that fate has bring you back to the red ball game, do you understand the task at hand now that you may have to give up to be able to be successful in taking it? You are a person that I looked on that fate has asked you to come and remedy our red ball problem. Are you willing now to give up a few years to do that for the region, the millions of fans that still support and love West Indies cricket?
Yeah, well, as Coach Sammy said earlier, everything happens for a reason, and faith has led me to this point. But yes, these are conversations that have been had with me and same Coach Sammy and even the director of cricket, Miles Bascom, in terms of my availability being solely to West Indies cricket. Probably, I mean, it's not been determined for how long as yet I will be the captain, but these are conversations that have been had in terms of me giving my availability for the West Indies and for the people of the region to come back and play all three formats of cricket for the West Indies. I mean, I always like to say this, I'm not a greedy guy. It was a selfless decision in me giving up opportunity to go and play franchise cricket around the world and come back to give my home fans and the people of the Caribbean my services now for as long as I can say possible. I mean, I'm 33 years of age, so I'm getting up there in the age. So I may not have had much longer in terms of coming back and playing Test cricket. And as I said earlier, I always had the dream of playing 50 Test matches. So I think the time is now. So as I said, I'll be giving my availability strictly to West Indies cricket now.
Thank you so much, and we wish you the best, and we will support you as best as possible.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Junior.
You're welcome. You're welcome, head coach. You're welcome, and please think about Brandon King in Test cricket, not captain.
Yes, you
Test
heard that?
cricket.
You heard that?
Okay, Junior. No problem.
All right, finally, last but not least, Petra Williams. Please identify your media house. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Petra Williams. I'm from Antigua, Spectator Magazine and Sports. First, let me begin by congratulating Mr. Chase on your selection and wishing you the very, very best. As a child of West Indies cricket, that's not a good way to start. Know that I think on behalf of myself and all of Antigua and Barbuda, we're with you 100%. And also to you, Sammy, in terms of your first outing as coach for Red Ball, we also wish you the very best. My question is related to the future leadership of West Indies cricket. And I note pleasantly that we're now getting more data-centered in terms of our selection and application processes. But I'm sure there would have been some gaps identified in terms of the overall process. And also, I'm assuming that you would have taken note of the shortcomings of the other persons who were initially part of the screening process, as well as others you would have identified as potential leaders. Is there plans, or are there plans, to develop a sort of a leadership academy or a development plan where there would be a continuous process of assessing Mr. Chase and our white ball captain in terms of their strengths and weaknesses as we look to move up the ladder in the whole overall cricket process, and then to begin to identify, especially among our younger players, for the whole issue of succession planning and future development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petra. I think it's a very fitting last question. And yes, there is a plan. It's something that we've seen the need for it. We have been asked by our board of directors to develop and implement. So there is a plan for a leadership development program. We will start certainly with evaluations of our captain, as I mentioned earlier. We realized that if we are moving towards a data-centric approach, we must have that data that we will mine for insights. And so the plan is to start a program of evaluation of captains. So all the way from the senior level, having captain evaluations completed at the end of tours. We'll do it with our 18s because that would be one of the areas that we earmarked for development of future West Indian captains. And we'll also do it across our regional and age group tournaments. Getting reports from coaches as well as hopefully umpires, about how the captains perform, how they plan, how they acquit themselves on the field, and then we can create that database and start the process of tracking players from very early on, those who show a lot of leadership potential. And then we can continue to use that to inform our leadership development program to ensure that we give support to all those persons who seem to have the capacity for leadership. I did mention as well that coming out of this evaluation process, we have definitely identified two of our of the younger candidates for continued work in succession planning, in their leadership development for our succession planning. I did also mention that a part of this assessment was a psychometric evaluation. And apart from giving us some insight as to the possible fit for the role, the psychometric evaluation also provided us with a lot of support material to further target and develop the specific individual. So we will be using those documents to really tailor, an approach to developing those younger members of the list of candidates that we assess.
Is that okay? Is that okay, Petra?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, with that said, I would like to hand over to now our coach, Darren Sammy, who wanted to give a few remarks to close off today's session.
Yeah, thank you so much. Firstly, thank you to all who's on this press conference. Thank you for the questions, those who listen. I just want to say to the public, Roston and myself will be embarking on a very challenging role, and all the guys who will be selected in order to fulfill those roles. It's what I said at the top of the interview. It's important that I know a West Indies team or a West Indies coach or a West Indies captain asking for patience is something that the fans probably tired of hearing. But however, in this particular instance, give us the patience. Feel free to critique as much as you want, but also understand the goals that we have, that we will also always share the vision for the test team, the brand that we want to play. So I just ask for the patience, most of all the prayers, and ask God to bless myself and Roston with the wisdom and bless our players with the skills to go out and execute the roles that are required in order for us to be successful. So don't forget us in this journey, especially from the test arena. Pray for the patience and the wisdom in order for us to take this team forward. Thank you so much.
Any final words from you, Captain?
I think enough has been said. We've been on for quite a while. A lot of information has been shared. And I just want to echo sentiments of the coach. I just hope that the fans could come out and support when it's the time to support, and give the players and the team 100% backing.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, all of our media partners for joining today. Appreciate the questions, appreciate the following of protocol, and we look forward to having more sessions like this going forward as we have more things to discuss about Cricket West Indies and our future development. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for all the panel, Mr. Bascom, Mr. Imberry, coach, newly appointed captain, wish you all the best and looking forward to speaking to you very soon.
All the best. Thanks.